What's going on with y'all? It's your boy NeoXO bringing y'all the Balck Clover Chapter 272 review. If you're into Balck Clover, make sure to subscribe to the channel, drop a like on the video. But this chapter was fire, like I'm letting y'all know right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and tell y'all what I like about it and what I didn't like about it. And we just gonna get straight into it. So first off, it starts off with Yuno, and he's basically doing some hardcore training. Now I predicted this was gonna happen. Like I predicted they were gonna show a little bit of Yuno's training, and just a little insight on the reason I thought that is just because, you know, something simple. Asta and Yuno are rivals, so if Asta's training, it makes sense that Yuno's training rivals Asta. And while we didn't get too much, what we did get was something that puts them close on par, because if anybody sees this training, like, Yuno is going through a lot of crucial training right now. Like, he honestly is. There's some hardcore training, like Asta going through some hardcore training with Nacht, and Yuno going through some hardcore training solo. But then Langris comes and, you know, he kind of offers a helping hand to Yuno, because it makes sense, because Xenon has spatial magic and so does Langris, so it makes sense for Langris to help Yuno. And I think this is a really good strategy. You know, they're going to be able to come up with something really good. And a lot of people were wondering, hey, when's Langris going to come back? And now, look, guys, we finally get Langris back. And he actually had a very good interest. He kind of came out of nowhere, and he got a new fit on. Let me know what y'all think of the fit. I think his new fit, drippy. Like, he dripped out. I'm not going to lie. I like his new fit. And he's as snarky as ever, you know, kind of. It's in his blood, he would say. Same with Yuno. Yuno's a royal, so they just really kind of the top of the pyramid as far as the current structure of the Clover Kingdom goes. And it's just really cool to see this, man. Like, Yuno addresses him as the former vice captain Langris, and Langris is like, why did you even need to mention that? You know, which is true. Like, why Yuno even needed to mention that? But this is more clarification to the fact that the Golden Dawn does not have two vice captains. In fact, it only has one, which is Yuno, and Langris is a former vice captain of the Golden Dawn. Now, a lot of people thought that they were co-vice captains due to the fact that Yami and William were co-vice captains, but that's not the case in this scenario. So basically, Langris offers a helping hand to Yuno to assist him in his training, and we find out that Belle is inside of the grimoire, and she will be inside the grimoire for some time now. He says this is due to having a strategy, and if I had to guess right now, I would probably say she's just inside of the grimoire building up power. You know, that just makes sense to me, you know. And basically they start their training, and then we flip over to Asta and Liebe with their training. Basically, Asta and Liebe are struggling to become one with their union mode. They're not able to completely go into it. Basically, what Asta has been doing up to this point is just using his black form, which is incomplete. It is not the complete mastered form. It's just not. And they give us some more details about this black form, so I'll address those. Basically, what's going on in this scenario is Nacht is repeatedly beating Asta and Liebe repeatedly, and they just cannot get a win. And it kind of seems like Nacht is really getting irritated because the time is up. So basically, Nacht gives them literally the ultimate ultimatum. And basically, Asta and Liebe kind of were, I'm not going to say that they're underestimating some things. They're underestimating how to get into this form, and they're underestimating Nacht. I mean, they underestimated Nacht, which it kind of makes sense that Nacht would get underestimated because they don't know him. But yeah, he's really strong, and they find this out in this chapter because they just cannot get a win. Basically, they're all beaten up, but whenever Asta's in his black form, Liebe also takes damage, so they have to eat like these kind of sweets, and the sweets basically help them recover their injuries and their stamina and stuff like that. That's why they're able to continue fighting repeatedly over and over again, and they're getting back up. So like, they have this kind of funny idea. Tabata just threw this in there for jokes, I'm sure. Basically, Liebe gets on top of Asta's shoulder, and he's just like, they're just like, all right, combine. And then, like, obviously that did not work. That was kind of goofy, but you know, I gotta give it to them. I mean, at least they tried everything, and that was, in my opinion, a good funny moment for Liebe and Asta. You know, people like to have moments between characters, and that's definitely a character interaction where they kind of, what's the words I'm looking for? That's basically a character interaction where we see them building a bond and a connection, and I really like that. So moving on, Nacht gets a flashback. I know a lot of people are going to be analyzing this flashback in the comments because people just love analyzing flashbacks. Basically, there's not much that I personally get from it on my first read through. Now, there is some things that I get just from context of the way Nacht is reacting to it. Basically, he's having, in the flashback, he's having an interaction with somebody. Now, this somebody is going to be crucial because Tabata would not just throw this flashback in here. Whoever this is somebody, and perhaps I'll just throw this out there, perhaps it was the person in the photo of the noble's abandoned home. Just gonna go throw that out there. But whatever the case may be, after having this flashback, Nacht is like, okay, it's nearly time for us all to gather and go into the Spade Kingdom. Yes, I cannot tell you how glad I was to finally hear this. Like, man, I know you guys have been waiting for them to go to the Spade Kingdom. This training, you know, the training went hard. When the anime comes out, we're gonna have probably expanded training, you know, I think. But regardless, I'm ready to kind of move on to the next step of the plan. This training arc has been good. I mean, honestly, it was pretty much an arc, to be honest, because they had enough chapters. But I'm digressing. Anyways, after Nacht gets this flashback, he's like, it's almost time for us to gather, and basically he's tired of it. He's like, okay, look, Nacht is giving him an ultimatum right here. He's like, okay, look, you're either gonna go into this union mode or you're gonna die. So basically, we get to see Nacht's monozone. I'm not gonna lie, Nacht's monozone is clean. Nacht's monozone is basically he puts people like in complete darkness, and there is no light. Now that I'm seeing this, I kind of want to see like how Pachi would fare against this, because like, anyways, basically pure darkness, and it's like, dang, it kind of looks like I don't even know how to describe this, bro. Imagine just being in pure darkness, and basically Asta can't see anything, and Asta's getting like barraged, attacked, and he can't even see where the attack is coming from. And it does not seem like Asta is even able to read ki, which makes sense because the way ki works is based on Asta's senses, and since some of Asta's senses, specifically speaking, his eyesight is not there. I mean, it makes kind of sense why he can't fully, you know, sense it with his ki, or maybe he just needs to like level up his ki reading abilities, and maybe we get to see that in the next chapter. But basically, what happens is he goes into that monozone of Nox, and Nox is basically like about to kill him. And I don't really blame Nox. Nox is not the type of guy who's about to play around. And he's like, all right, look, you're either gonna go into this form or you're gonna die. And Nox has to do what he has to do, fam. Like, I mean, if he gotta kill Asta in order to get into the form, he gotta kill Asta. I mean, the reason he's doing this is because you need to be pushed to your limits in order to surpass your limits. And the training, Nox wasn't going all out. So he's like, all right, so like, I gotta go all out or else you're not gonna unlock the form. And he was actually right, because Asta and Liebe both have flashbacks. Asta had a flashback to saving Captain Yami, like he needs to save Captain Yami. That was his flashback. And Liebe had a flashback to Lecita. They need to avenge, you know? They need to avenge. So basically they're like, nah, we can't die. And they're both going hard for each other. They're both binding really hard. They're like, I can't let Asta die. And Asta's like, I can't let Liebe die. And we got to do this. And basically that's when we see something awaken. We literally see something awaken, and we see the new pupil of Asta and Liebe. Man, oh man, I am excited to see this new form. I am excited to see this new form. Like, Tabata leaving us with the teaser at the end of the chapter as always, but man, this new form looks crazy. So I'm gonna have some predictions out. I'm gonna give y'all a quick prediction. Like, obviously we're gonna see this form next chapter, and I think that after that they're probably gonna head out, you know, because, you know, Noct literally just said it's almost time for them to head out, and he awakened the powers, so that's really good. Now I want to really see, like, you know, because King Julius did have some predictions. King Julius said that Asta might die, so Maybe this is what he's talking about, maybe it's not, maybe this is the beginning of what he's talking about and all that's in between. But anyways, I think I've said anything and everything that I had to say about this chapter. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, please leave it a thumbs up, comment, and subscribe. As always, it's been your boy Neo XO, and I'm out.